Welcome back to Coach Cove's B-Ball Breakdowns, and in today's video we're breaking down the offensive attack from the NBA's newest Big Three. And the one aspect of the Suns' offense that immediately stood out to me was their willingness to take mid-range shots. This is extremely rare in today's NBA, but the Suns actually took more mid-range jumpers in the first quarter than three-point attempts. And they shot the ball exceptionally well, going 17 and 20 out of the gate. Just for reference, the Suns would go on to shoot 32 more three-pointers during the rest of regulation compared to just 14 more mid-range shots. So all that space to attack off the dribble comes from having those three superstars on the court together at the same time, and it's definitely going to make the mid-range game an area to target for Phoenix throughout the season. So now let's talk about that space for a second because we can see it really well on this possession. D-Book has got it on the wing, and KD and Beal are each one pass away. But it's the gravity of those two as shooting threats that keeps their defenders from leaking too far over into this driving lane, also known as the gap. Jalen Duren has a 6-inch height advantage on Devin Booker here, but he can't pressure the ball because he knows that Book will go right around him and either get a shot or find a kick-out option to Durant or Beal on the three-point line, depending which gap Booker attacks and whether or not the off-ball defender is willing to step in front of him. So because Duren knows he is at a real disadvantage, he's going to sag off and try to keep Book in front. But the problem is that leaves the door wide open for Booker to just walk into this shot, and he nails it.
Again, Jalen Duren launches a three, and it's through.
Let's look at that again because this is just one example of how this Big Three is going to be able to generate quality shots and make it look pretty easy. All they have to do is play off of each other and maintain good spacing on the wing. And in a second, I'm going to talk about some of their 4-out 1-in looks, but I wanted to show you guys how D-Book sets up Duren for this three-point shot right here first. We've already got some separation, so Book just wants to make sure he can get this shot off in a good rhythm. And he's going to wait for Beal to go backdoor and then use this retreat dribble to get Duren to come out as far towards that three-point line as he's willing to go. And there's so much space out there that Book is probably thinking the painted area looks quite like an ocean right now. But watch what happens as he starts to creep up back towards that three-point line. He actually sinks his shoulders and gets closer to the ground, making it look like he's loading up for a move towards the hoop. And naturally, Duren has to react and take a few steps back, and it's on the second drop step right here that Book is going to rise and fire. Bang! I think we're going to be seeing a lot of these 4-out 1-in looks from Phoenix because having one less guy on the perimeter and instead sticking a big man on the opposite block just gives each of those dynamic wing guys, Beal, Durant, and Booker, even more space to attack driving lanes and create longer closeouts for each other. Now, surrounding them with capable shooters and finding guys to work that block is another challenge in and of itself, but it's going to be interesting to see how Frank Vogel handles the offense in his first year there this season. Because it isn't just Bradley Beal they're bringing in, there are a lot of new faces in Phoenix after that DeAndre Ayton-Drew Holiday trade. And specifically, there are three guys who I think are really going to thrive in this new system, and that's Eric Gordon, Yuta Watanabe, and Grayson Allen. Those guys each shoot it from 40% from behind the arc, and they should be getting a good volume of threes off the bench. Last year, the Suns were 17th in three-point attempts per game, but I would imagine that they should be in the top 10 in that category this season. The best part about the Suns' offense is they're going to be able to keep it simple and be extremely effective. There isn't a whole lot you can do when the arc is loaded with shooters, and there are three All-NBA talents who can go out and hit a shot from anywhere on the court. I think the only way you can try to combat their firepower is with increased intensity on the defensive end, and I would expect to see lots of ball pressure and lots of double teams out of the pick and roll against them this season. And in the playoffs, all you can hope for is trying to wear them down over the course of 7 games. But even with facing all-out defensive efforts from their opponents on a nightly basis, Phoenix still has a good chance to be the league's best offensive team this year. And by June, I guess we'll know whether or not defense still wins championships. If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, please subscribe and I would really appreciate it. You should also try and share this video with a friend and have a conversation with them about what they think about the Suns this season. Let me know down in the comments anything I missed, what else you'd like to see on the channel, and who your pick is for the league's best offense this year. Until next time, peace.